Gradually, his medical practice began to fall off and the income also dwindled. Deen Dayal apprehended danger. He thought that the idea of renouncing the world, which took possession of Nag Mahashaya's mind after the death of his aunt, had been forgotten since his association with Suresh. But once again, he was passing most of his time in the thought of the Lord without caring for the comforts of life. So, Deen Dayal's anxiety about the young daughter-in-law increased. It was true that there was no want of food and dress, but mere food and dress could never alleviate the thirst of the heart. The husband's affection is the only thing that can give peace to a wife. But the wife knew that there was no woman on earth who could bind this man to the world. Nag Mahashaya told his wife, "The relationship which exists in the physical plane never lasts for good. He is blessed indeed who can love God with all his heart. Once we are attached to the body, it is impossible to get over it, even in the course of several births. So do not have any attachment to this despicable cage of bone and flesh. Take shelter at the feet of Mother and think of her and her alone. Thus your life here and hereafter be ennobled. The wife of Tapasvi has to become a Tapaswini." As days went on, the health of Deen Dayal broke down. Nag Mahashaya wanted that his old father should now resign his service at Mrs. Pal's and devote his whole time to the practice of devotion. After much entreaty, he made Deen Dayal agree to go and live at their native village. His wife also left Calcutta with the father-in-law to serve him in his old age. Suresh, as usual, would often to come to Nag Mahashaya, and they passed their time in talking about religious subjects. But mere words could satisfy him no longer, and Nag Mahashaya one day said, "Time is wasted in mere talk. Unless something is perceived directly, there is no use in living." Just at this time, one day Suresh went to Keshav Babu's Brahmo Samaj, and there he learnt that a saint was living at Dakshineshwar, a saint who was a man of great renunciation, who remained always absorbed in God consciousness and often fell into Bhava Samadhi. Suresh wanted to go over there and pay a visit to the saint with his friend Nag Mahashaya. But for various reasons, the topic was not raised before him. 2 months passed away after that, when Suresh told Nag Mahashaya about the saint of Dakshineshwar. As soon as he heard of him, he wanted to go and see him. Nag Mahashaya could not bear to wait any longer. Accordingly, both of them started after their morning meal. Dakshineshwar is to the north of Calcutta, and so they proceeded in that direction. It was the month of April. The sun was very hot. But neither of them did mind the hate, and both went on as if being dragged on by some unseen force. After proceeding a long distance, they made enquiries of passersby, who in reply said that they had passed the village of Dakshineshwar. He directed them back. They reached the temple garden of Rani Rashmani at about 2 p.m. The temple is situated in a garden full of shady trees and fragrant flowering plants. At the time of Nag Mahashaya's visit, Dakshineshwar appeared to all the visitors as the veritable abode of gods. They saw the pond with its cool and refreshing water, the temple with its high pinnacles, and the trees with their fresh leaves. To Nag Mahashaya's mind, the rustling of the leaves in the trees seemed to speak in a gentle voice. Come, come, O ye afflicted travelers of this world of misery. This is the place where you can have your rest. They came as far as the door of the room where Sri Ramakrishna used to live. A man with a long beard was sitting by the side of the door. Nag Mahashaya asked him, "Sir, will you please tell me where the saint of Dakshineshwar lives?" "Yes," replied the gentleman. "Here he lives, but today he is gone to Chandannagar. Please come on some other day." This information produced a great dejection in the minds of both, but there was no help for it. They were about to take leave of the gentleman when Nag Mahashaya saw somebody from within the room beckoning them to come inside. Was it the saint of Dakshineshwar? Surely he must be the man whom they had come to meet after walking in the sun a long distance. Not paying a heed to the words of the bearded gentleman anymore, they entered the room. The bearded gentleman was Pratap Chandra Hazra. Nag Mahashaya used to say, "What a wonderful Maya of the Lord it is!" Although he had lived in close contact with the Master for 12 long years, Sri Hazra could not know his real nature. Who can know him if he does not want to be known? Though he may pass 100 years in prayers and meditation, he cannot know God unless he reveals himself out of his grace. It was indeed very curious that Hazra disliked anybody coming to Sri Ramakrishna. But when God's grace descends on anybody, no human power can stand in the way. On the other hand, even if God be standing by one's side, one cannot know him if he does not like to be known. This reminds us of an incident in Sri Ramakrishna's life illustrating this truth. One day, Sri Ramakrishna went to Kalighat with his nephew Hriday Mukherjee. On the northern side of the pond near the temple, there was at that time a bush of many kochu plants. Sri Ramakrishna saw there the mother of the universe in the form of a virgin playing with few maids. She was catching the grasshoppers. She had a red bordered cloth on her person. Seeing her, the master cried out, "Mother, oh mother," and lost his external consciousness. After that state of higher consciousness had passed, Sri Ramakrishna went inside the temple and found on the image of the mother in the temple the same cloth which adorned the person of the virgin girl. Hearing of it from Sri Ramakrishna, Hriday said, "Dear uncle, why did you not tell me then and there? I would have run and caught hold of her." The master smilingly replied, "Ah, my boy, that cannot be. Unless she wants it, what power have you to catch her? None can see her without her grace, though she is present everywhere and before all."